Well, I begin again. Um, there's no clock behind me anymore, so. But anyway, it's 5:45 a.m. and it's the 7th day of February 2016, and I don't know why I'm not getting my initial opening screens and stuff like that I always got before. I don't know if it's something to do with my son's internet connection or what, but the appearance is totally different. Anyway, the title of the talk for today is Banks Have No Lawful Claim. No matter how many times it has been explained by many others and me, people still hang on to the lies of the financial system. Get it straight. There is no wealth apart from the actions of all people. Each plays a role by serving life itself. The world's financial system was set up so that a few could control the many, enslaving the population and wrapping it in ignorance. It's a grand deception that will not get better until people stop buying into the lies. This includes, again, those who refuse to stand up to injustice and take positive action that will ultimately stop the criminals and demons behind them. Wasn't it Jesus who said, "And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free"? But even people in churches and religious institutions and people that claim to be spiritual buy into the lie that what you resist persists, and so they don't stand up to anything. They never tell the truth. They think the truth is some ethereal thing out there that has nothing to do with life here on this planet. They're wrong. Every one of them in this belief system put out by these new age con artists, which mean well. I believe they mean well. But a system of escape will never liberate the planet. It will not. It takes action, and it takes faith to know that God is with us in fighting the good fight. And what is the good fight? The good fight is letting truth come to the surface, facing the unpleasant truths of the world that has enslaved us, and changing the world that has enslaved us. We have the power to do that if we would believe, if we would only believe and take action. That's not just belief, it's belief and take action. And the people that have become embedded in the system aren't going to like you when you do that. They're not going to play nice because they're fighting for the survival of the fraudulent system that has been created, that they are living off of. They are earning their bread, as it were. They are earning their sustenance from the fraud. But they don't know it's fraud because it's all I've ever known. It's the way it is. Yeah, it's the way it is because somebody messed with us way back when. And I still don't get why God allowed that. I still don't get why a loving creator would allow the bestiality and the absolute fly in the face terror against the population. Now, of course, we're not terrorized when we're part of the system and we think, well, this is the way it is, and so I just play the game the best I can. But there are people that are hurting, people that are not just having their home stolen, as happened to me the day before yesterday, but lives taken, put into incomprehensible torture, a day in and day out, by having to live in a system that we're aware is a fraud. We're aware it's all a con game by demons and bastards that think they can control the world, as I said in the blurb. Give me a break, folks, and pay attention. Wake up. You can't sit back and hide behind false spiritual dictums Like what you resist persists. No, what you stand up to will ultimately fall down if enough of us stand up together and say, we have not. No more. But we don't do that, do we? We don't do that. Instead, we sit down and we let the system keep going on because it must be God's will, because this is what is. This is our experience, so it must be God's will. Well, if that's God's will, then I don't like God at all. And I've spent my whole life loving God and being as honest with God as I know how to be. And I've thought many times that I had an intimate personal relationship with God. There have been many times that I have felt the presence of God in tangible ways even. And been transported into other worlds, as it were, in spirit by thought or getting beyond the controlled thought of the system to whatever the thought is beyond the system. But I still live here in a physical body, on a physical planet, with physical conditions that can be changed when enough people stand up and say, change it, and take the action to do what they can do, what each of us can do. And we can stand up. We can support each other. Now, the way they had this thing fixed up with me, I didn't have any idea that they were going to move the way they did. So they blocked any possibility of me getting people here to support me when they were trying to take my home. And I'm sure that was done very much on purpose. They listen to my videos. They know what's going on. And I've been very open, very candid with what's going on with me and what my thoughts were. I'm sure they read the emails and the messages from people like my friend Phil, who tries to tell me ways to stand up and claim my sovereignty. But we're not sovereign in a world where they ignore every claim of sovereignty. It doesn't matter what we use. It doesn't matter what remedy we use. They ignore it because they're con artists, because they're criminals. Don't you understand? Our world is run by criminals. Thank God there are exceptions. I think Putin is the grandest exception of a leader of a major country in the world where they're actually doing the right thing. Actually a few people made comments of, why isn't the ambassador helping you? I'm not sure. I've come to a possible conclusion that the ambassador is part of the scam. I don't know that for a fact. I liked the ambassador. When I was working with him, I liked him. I had respect for him. But when he called me a liar for saying that he had promised me anything, my God, that was the beginning of our relationship with each other, was a promise. And then he was going to bring me to Hong Kong, and I had to spend almost $600 quickly, and he was going to reimburse me. He never gave me a cent. So anyway, folks, we've got to work together. Somehow we've got to get off of this stuff and realize that the whole financial system is fraud. All of the banks, all of the commercial banks are fraud. Now, my personal bank that I deal with, the bank manager and the people that work there call me on a first name basis. They all know me. Even the new people are introduced to me when they come on, and there's a lot of new people, but they know me. And they're not bad people. And I'm sure that's true in most banks around the world. They're just regular people that are doing the job. But the system itself and the people at the very top of the pyramid are criminals. And they need to be arrested or taken off the planet or somewhere, or Earth will never be a place where freedom can be exercised and where we can grow to our highest potential. Anyway, I hope that when I end this video that I'm able to get it back to where it's supposed to be with the title page and everything coming up, but I don't know. So thank you for listening, and I